Yeah, this was Sam. When somebody gets the funding on your site, what is your service fee or commission, or how does that work? Do you take it up front or later? Or?
We only get paid on success. So if you raise your 100% of your funding target, let's say you're looking to raise $300,000, we take 7.25% of that when you successfully raise your funds.
From our case, it's only 5% when also the project is successfully funded. If it's not funded, all the money that has been contributed will go back to the original funders.
How do you protect the intellectual rights of the entrepreneurs, basically? By putting their ideas, their business plans out there, how can you protect that somebody else could copy them?
It's a very good question. Just as a point of clarification, we focus on growth businesses. We don't focus on ideas or concepts. So growth businesses, their ideas are out there already. They exist, they're out there, and therefore they're happy sharing that information with the crowd. Having said that, there are some. It's a very democratic process. Enough information for an investor to reach out to you. He can ask you questions on the site. It's all transparent in front of everybody. If you don't, you can answer questions back. And if you don't want to answer, you can take it offline. You can take that discussion offline.
So this crowdfunding, as you can see, I mean, it's called crowdfunding, it's one thing. And as you can see, there are three different companies just here. There are many different options and target markets that these guys look at in terms of you as the SME. So you need to identify yourself and see which of these organizations should you approach, depending on what stage of the organization, of your organization, or what type of company you have and what type of finance would suit you for the discussion. So they did give an introduction as to what their target market is in the beginning. And one other question I wanted to put forward to them is, one of the things for you guys, specifically here, so that you find missing from most companies that come seeking for investments. What you really find is the thing that the showstopper that kills it for them. So we'll start with you, Sam, and then with Walid, and then with you.
I mean, what we find in the region is a significant lack of education when it comes to the capitalization process. And that is something that has to be sorted out, and we are taking that as part of our strategic rollout plan to really educate the market as to how to raise capital in general, not through Eureka necessarily, but in general. Capitalization is a very important process that every business has to go through. And what typically happens is they come to us 2 weeks before they run out of money. And to me, that is shocking. They just think that they can make it to us and then somebody's going to write a check. And the reality is, it's a much deeper and lengthier process to go through. And the reality is that the discussion that takes place, completing your business plan and do your documents, the right documentation, takes about 6 months. And also, before you present it to investors, you don't want investors to know that you're running out of money in 6 months' time, right? You don't want your staff to run out of, go and look for other jobs when they think there isn't that road or that runway. So what typically happens is we try and educate them before they come to us and help them to put the necessary documentation together in order for them to be investor-friendly and investable businesses.
In our case, for equity funding, if the company or if the founders are what we call investment ready, the process takes between 3 to 6 months. Now, what is messy, as Ivan was asking, is the fact that they lack the basic understanding of most of them. Okay, some of them are the crème de la crème, the exceptional entrepreneurs. Most of them do not understand what it takes to get a user experience on a product. Some of them have no idea what the competition is about out there. They have no sense of how big or how deep the market is. And from a valuation perspective, they start with a business plan with no product. They say that the company is worth $50 million on a piece of paper just because they drafted an Excel sheet with the forecasted revenues and nonsense, complete nonsense on several fronts, unfortunately. But this is maybe half of the entrepreneurs that we're seeing. The other half, thank God, they're much more mature. They know, they've read, they've seen what's happening around. They've read about venture capital. They come somehow educated, and we help them do the last mile.
Next, Oliver.
Yeah, just to complement what you said, Ivan, in terms of the steps, at least in the beginning, before I go to the answer to the question, if someone has an innovative, if someone's just trying to test a product, they have an innovative idea or a product they want to test out, they can start in the beginning with ZoomOut. Then the next step would be either to go for venture funding or for crowd investing, which is more of a later stage, and you have to have some kind of history of what you have. Now, what's hard in this market is that since we are dealing with basically ideas and people in a very early stage, many people don't know how to present their products in a way that attracts people to actually put money into it. Especially when you're talking to a big mass of people to fund your project, each one of them to put only $10 versus having to get only maybe 20 people to put in $10,000 to get a $200,000 deal. So having to present the product in a way that is attractive and emotional with many people, with a mass number of people to fund your project is very hard. And many projects think that crowdfunding is like a way to receive free funding, it's like money falling from the sky. It's not really the case. It's a very hard work kind of thing. They have to present it in a really attractive way. They have to have a very solid product that people want in the end. And this is what crowdfunding